Thank you all for coming out today to support Charlie Kratovil for Mayor of New Brunswick, this beautiful city. I'm Khahlidra Hadhazy, resident, mother, and voter, and I would like to introduce Teresa Vivar.
Hola, ¿cómo están? I'm so happy. Thank you so much for the invitation. Charlie, I think, is a great leader, a great person, and I really appreciate that being so young is trying to give us the hope that is democracy in our city. I think it's important for us to have these type of initiatives and not only have the same group all the time running. I think it's important to have more people, and I hope he can inspire more people to run. Don't be afraid to be more civic engaged and participate. I think it's important to have this type of movements and demonstrate what democracy is about. Otherwise, it's not healthy for no community at all. So I hope everybody who is out there and has the possibility to vote, get out to the streets and really promote the vote. I think it's important to recognize that these people out there, young people that is out there trying to make changes in the community and that they need the support. But also it's important for us community to recover that conscience of participation, of let our voice be heard, of thoughts be, convert our thoughts into action. And stop being afraid of own government, stop being afraid of the people that is running our city. I think it's more building collaboration. And I think this initiative is what I said. Thank you, Charlie, for having this, take this step, very important for us. And I hope more youth out there, again, take this initiative as an important part of their lives and get out, register to vote, be more active, and demonstrate that there's a future in this community, that we're building new leadership, because no, all of us are gonna be here forever. So I think it's important to start building that consciousness. We wanna wait until somebody pass away, until somebody resign, until somebody give us the opportunity to participate. But we have to do that. We have to take the initiatives. So all of you that you watching me, todos los que me están viendo ahorita, es importante para ustedes en esta ciudad que tenemos más del 50% de comunidad latina, de tomar esta iniciativa de Charlie Kratovil, de un joven que estudió en New Brunswick, que ha crecido en New Brunswick, que se ha interesado por New Brunswick, de ver que ustedes también tienen interés por su ciudad. No solamente es él, somos todos. Demostrar que hay una democracia, que contamos, que es importante. So, espero que ustedes que tienen 18 años o más puedan registrarse para votar y lo hagan, ¿no? Es bueno hacerlo. So, thank you everybody for being here. Thank you for all of you that are here and support Charlie, and let's do this.
Hey everybody, thank you for coming out. My name is Jad. I'm a lifelong resident of New Brunswick. I'm a proud voter. And I'm also proud to say that I'm a good friend of Charlie's and I've worked with him. Before I just talk really quickly, we're just going to do a quick chant. Clean water, clean air, clear government. 3 times. Clean water, clean air, clean government. Clean water, clean air, clean government. Clean water, clean air, clean government. Are you guys excited? Yeah. Are you guys excited to go out there and to organize and get everyone involved? Yeah. Excellent, excellent. Well, the next speaker that I'm going to introduce to you guys, we all know, he is a New Brunswick hero. He really is a champion of justice. I'm proud to call him my friend. I've known him for the past several years, and I can say the moment that I met him, he really did positively change my life. And I do believe that he's working every day to change New Brunswick in a very positive and productive way. Give it up, guys, for the next Mayor of New Brunswick, Charlie Kratovil!
Thank you, New Brunswick. My name is Charlie, and I want to be your next mayor. I'm running because you deserve a full-time mayor who will focus 100% on cleaning up this city. Now, I want to tell you how I'm going to do that, but before I get started, I need to thank some very important people. So first of all, thanks to all our speakers, my good friends, Jad, Teresa, and Khahlidra, who you just heard from. I literally would not be a candidate for this office if it was not for my family's help. They were out there gathering the signatures that I needed to get my name on the ballot, so I want to thank my mother and father, my sisters who could not join us today, and I've just been tremendously blessed to have a great family supporting me for every day of my 32 years on this earth. My parents raised me right, along with my sisters, and they've all helped to inspire me, educate me, and make me strive to be the best person I can be. I also must thank some of the people who took a chance on me and didn't have to. Harry Pazicki and Jim Walsh are two great men who taught me how to be a community organizer, how to empower others, and most important, how to be constructive and how to be effective. So I'm tremendously thankful to both of them, and of course to my journalism mentor, Joe Malanconico, for showing me how to cover hard news in a big city and do it the right way, putting the people first. So for the past 14 years that I've lived in this great city, I wouldn't have been able to survive without great friends. Some of those people like Sean Monahan and Amy Braunstein, everybody else who let me crash at their place when I was struggling to make a living, struggling to survive here. And it's not easy to make it here, but thanks to great people like those, I've not only survived, but I've grown to become a better person and a better citizen. And I want to thank them for that opportunity. And finally, I want to thank all of you. Not just those who signed my petitions or those who are sure that you're going to vote for me in November, but literally every single person who's hearing this today or watching this out there. There's still signs out at some of the city limits here that say New Brunswick, where the people make the difference. And I got to say that really hits the nail on the head. New Brunswick has a lot going for it, but so do a lot of other places. Yeah, we've got a rich history, we've got some big businesses, wonderful state university, and much more. But the reason I'm still here isn't those things, it's you. The people of New Brunswick are truly what makes this a great community to live in, to work in, to study in, to visit, to start a newspaper. It's a very exciting place to do that, and hopefully to run for elected office in. And I look forward to meeting as many residents as possible over the next 5 months, and I hope that we can build a strong connection based on honest debate and discussion. A connection that will last well beyond November 6th, and one that will endure even if we don't agree about an issue or an election. So thank you, New Brunswick, for always keeping things exciting, for giving me a reason to put roots down here and call this place my home, and giving me a passion for fighting for justice for everyone who needs support from someone else. So let's get down to it. What am I going to do if you elect me to be your next mayor? Well, I'm going to focus on several key areas, and I can see them on that sign right there. Clean water, clean air, clean government. We also need clean streets. And finally, a real commitment to the people who need our support the most. That includes our working families, our renters, our immigrant population, and our homeless brothers and sisters. There's so much more we can do, and I'm going to fight for the people who need that support the most. There have been far too long that we haven't had real solutions to these problems, and I know that we can do better, and I will work full-time to make it better. Now, we need to move our city forward, and one way we can do that is by creating a free, robust, user-friendly public transportation system. Now, my plans, which have already been presented to Rutgers University and the New Brunswick Traffic Commission right upstairs, will make it easier for those of us without cars to connect to job opportunities, educational opportunities, shopping destinations, including places to buy healthy food that we need to feed our families, and also our hospitals and medical facilities, getting people to doctor's appointments. These are all important transportation needs. And my plans have been well received by those entities, but we must continue to push for their implementation regardless of the outcome of this election. We must insist on zero emissions electric buses for that system. We must insist that every bus be accessible to our disabled brothers and sisters. And we must insist that there be a common sense, centralized method for getting the information about this system out there. One that's simple, bilingual, and uses GPS technology to tell you when the next bus is coming. Now, this is just one way we can help ease the traffic and parking problems here, make it easier for people who can't afford a car to survive in this city, and most importantly, make the air we breathe cleaner by eliminating pollution from our mass transit system. But that's just one way. Before we get to my next point, I need to discuss kind of like the elephant in the room, the elephant in the city. It's the New Brunswick Parking Authority. Now, we need to put an end to the New Brunswick Parking Authority. It's why we don't already have a good public transportation system here in New Brunswick. You guys know the expression, when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Well, in New Brunswick, all we have is a parking authority. So every transportation problem, it looks like the solution is to build another parking deck and borrow millions of dollars to do it. Now, earlier today, I visited the finance director, and he gave me a document here that shows the total debt of the New Brunswick Parking Authority, $396.5 million. So just to put that in perspective, the Parking Authority is paying $12 million every year just towards interest. Think about what could be done with $12 million. Think about what could be done to our downtown if we didn't have so many parking decks, if we had a different agenda, one that focused more on pedestrians, bicycles, taxis, and other forms of transit that would get people from point A to point B in a healthier way without having to have everyone own their own car and find a place to keep it 24/7. Now, you might say, well, thank God that the Parking Authority is an autonomous agency and the city government is not on the hook for that insane debt. But unfortunately, ever since the mayor's first term back in the 90s, the city government has guaranteed every single dollar of the Parking Authority's debt. That means that if, heaven forbid, we shift to a less car-centric, healthier society, and the demand for parking in these enormous monstrosities goes down, the city's taxpayers will be the ones that have to face the day of reckoning, likely long after the responsible parties have left office. Now, if elected, I promise to support the immediate dissolution of the New Brunswick Parking Authority. We wouldn't be the first city to do it. We would be following in the footsteps of Jersey City, the second most populated city in the state, which saved almost $1 million per year by getting rid of their parking authority. And other communities in New Jersey, like Bloomfield and Montclair, that saw the light, that want to move their cities forward in a direction that's more comprehensive. Not just parking, but more than that. So I promise to create a transportation department with a director that will report directly to me and whose mission will be to develop comprehensive solutions to the parking and transportation problems that are inflicting harm on the residents and businesses here. They are only seeing the costs go up, and that is not a solution. I talk to many business owners. I talk to many residents who say that the cost of parking fines and the sheer cost of just paying for parking is forcing them out of New Brunswick. There are a lot of people that would want to come to New Brunswick but are turned off by our extremely high cost of parking. We can do better. We need a new strategy, a new way to go about it, and I'm ready to bring that vision. I've done a lot of thinking about this, and I've researched what other cities are doing, and I can tell you firsthand that we are long overdue for a change in how our authorities work. Not only the Parking Authority, but the New Brunswick Housing Authority. Some of you may be familiar with some of the scandals that we've uncovered at New Brunswick today at that authority. We can't have the same people doing the same things over and over again and expect a different result. A very smart man said that's the definition of insanity. We need a change. We need to shake things up, and I'm the person to do it. So I hope that you will support me. I want to tell you about just a couple other things that I will promise you. So First of all, I promise that if there's ever a problem with the drinking water, everyone will be informed immediately. No more cover-ups, no more criminal schemes. We've got to put the people first and be transparent about our problems. The first step to solving a problem is admitting you have a problem, and that wasn't going on until it was exposed, and that is unacceptable. I also promised to create an anti-corruption task force that's going to clean up our government, investigate allegations of misconduct in the entire city, all departments here, both the authorities, and anything else that comes to our attention. We're going to install GPS tracking devices in all the city-owned vehicles to prevent misuse and abuse of that privilege. We're going to separate the Housing Authority from the Redevelopment Authority. It's never made sense for those two things to be together. And we need the Housing Authority to stay true to its mission of supporting affordable housing and not getting in bed with the developers. I will also advocate for and abide by a 2-term limit for all elected officials at the municipal level. So many of the problems that we've had could be solved by getting fresh faces and new blood in the system, and I will practice what I preach. I will not serve more than 2 terms. I will also support civilian review of the New Brunswick Police Department. I know firsthand that you cannot trust an investigation when the person investigating has a conflict, when the person investigating is investigating their coworkers or their friends. We need civilians to be investigating allegations of police misconduct like they have in the country's largest city, in New York City. There's a civilian review board there where people are paid to do the investigations, and they do an honorable job. We need that here in New Brunswick, and we need it now. We need it yesterday. I also promise to reject any application for a long-term tax exemption that does not provide funding to our school system. Just this past month alone, the City Council approved one deal that is costing the school system $39 million over the next 30 years. That is horrible. Our schools are an investment in the future. The children of today are going to be the ones who look after this place after we're long gone. And if they can't get a good education because we wanted to give a developer a gift to entice them to build a building, well, then we're not thinking about the future. We're thinking about the present. And we need to think about the future and the children of today and make sure that our schools are funded and that developers pay their fair share. The people of New Brunswick end up picking up the slack when the City Council approves deals like this. I promise I will veto any deal that does not have funding for the schools. And the last thing I promise is perhaps the most important. I promise all of you here today and anyone watching at home that I will serve full time as mayor with no side jobs, no conflicts of interest. I will be 100% dedicated to this city and the people of this city. You can count on it. Thank you for your support. Please tell your friends. The name of the game is register to vote. We need to get people registered. Have a great day, everyone.